Step into a world shrouded in ash and darkness, where legends come to life and ancient powers linger. Welcome to Adventures in Lollygagging. We are playing Forbidden Lands. Join us as we set sail on longships and explore the unknown, braving untold danger and discovering what hidden treasure lies beneath ash and snow. The pack have reached the gates of Oracoa, the orc city with walls formed out of solid obsidian, and it's circled by a moat of lava. The bridge across this lava flow is a massive stone slab, 2 feet thick, 15 feet wide, 40 feet long. The surface is uneven, chipped away by horseshoes, but it's also been smoothed out by constant foot traffic. You need to take each step deliberately in order to not catch your foot and possibly fall towards the edge. Charga, the orc mentor of Zaldrun, who has granted you permission to enter the city, has long since continued in with his cavalry, but he left a warrior named Toklo to guide you to the Hall of Necron Eagle-Eye. Zaldrun, you would know Necron as the Sahal of the largest orc clan and de facto ruler of Oracoa. Sahal, of course, means feared one and is not a hereditary title, but it is a position that is taken by force. The heat in Oracoa is suffocating. You're all sweating and panting as you walk through these streets. Orcs wear thin clothing, and anywhere else you would be shocked to see this uncovered skin that wasn't on face or hands. Yet here it's quite common for individuals to not wear sleeves or to wear pants that don't cover the entire leg. Gunk is showing off his abs. The streets are also made of obsidian, but it has cracked into large chunks several feet in diameter, and the stone is polished but uneven from the wear of traffic. Many places have grooves worn down by horse hooves or wagon wheels. The less traveled sections of road are raised several inches higher, indicating where the elevation used to be hundreds of years ago. The ash falls in strange patterns. Instead of lazily drifting, it often flurries as updrafts of hot air release from the cracks in the stone below. These drafts also release a noxious stench that dizzies even those with less sensitive noses. To Wolfkin and Skraeling, it's almost unbearable. Zaldrun, you adjust relatively easily, as the fumes trigger a rush of memories, really. This is your childhood in a scent. There's a general air of irritation in the city, as you see several orcs picking fights with each other, cursing, threatening bodily harm, and then turning around and continuing their business as if they did not just threaten to take a life. And while the orcs seem to live up to their reputation for short tempers, there's also a strict discipline in the city. Streets are cleaner than any human or elven town that you've seen. Wagons float freely through intersections without difficulty, despite their drivers treating each other like they're mortal enemies. You pass by one wagon that has a broken wheel, and every nearby orc stops to help lift the wagon, allowing a replacement wheel to be hammered on. When the repair is finished, the crowd disperses without a word of thanks or acknowledgement. When you reach Necron's Hall, your guide Toklo turns to give direction. They are in the middle of a war council. Necron is ill, and while she is strong and will likely survive, it has caused division among the clan as claimants vie for her title. Charga is strong and will clearly succeed her if the worst happens. But the snake charmer has a silver tongue. Many listen to him despite his weakness. You are to enter the hall, but you must stay in the back, and under no circumstances can you speak until the council is finished. Is this understood?
Yeah. We got it. I know the rules.
And you didn't tell me it would be this hot.
It stinks like the hells here.
There's a volcano right there. It's hot.
Yeah, I need to take my jacket. How much less clothing is impolite?
You can really do whatever you want to do. Nobody's really
great.
Yeah.
If we're done complaining,
so strange.
I will guide you in. Toklo turns.
Furless can handle heat better.
True. Zaldrun speaks the truth.
Necron's Hall is built of gray stone and mortar, but the floors are the same cracked obsidian as the streets, and it's almost a disservice to call this a hall. A hall, as you know it, is a wooden structure large enough to house a few dozen warriors and farm animals in the winter. What you're moving through now is more rightfully called a castle, and it's equal to any elven structure that was ever built before the Veiled Age. You quickly notice that there are no fireplaces or braziers that heat the massive building, and the discomfort in your boots explains why. The stone floors become significantly warmer as you make your way through the outer halls, providing radiant heating to the entire building. Entering through stout wooden doors, you see the flickering of torches, but there's no hearth with a roaring fire in the center of the hall. Instead, the cracked obsidian falls away to reveal a lava flow mere feet below the surface. And this molten rock divides most of the room, splitting it in half. But it appears that the orcs would be divided nonetheless. There are two factions of warriors on either side of the molten rock, and each side is yelling and hurling insults about the bravery and intelligence of the other. As you look across the hall, there is a throne, which is really just a large granite slab. It has no back to it, no armrest, and there is a desiccated body that sits atop it, propped up by braces, hidden under a cloak of golden feathers, but fooling no one. It clearly cannot sit on its own. It has lips pulled back in this feeble sneer, and limbs as thin as a spear shaft. An attendant moves to a ruffle in the cloak, and the dying orc on the throne feebly moves a frail arm to wave them away. Apparently there is some life left in Necron after all, but certainly not much. At the movement of their Sahal, the orcs immediately quiet and wait for Necron to speak. The attendant moves and puts his ear next to her mouth, straining to hear before shaking his head in defeat. With that, you see Charga take command of the room once again. These walls have never fallen. To attempt an attack on a Reaver fleet of that size would not just be stupid, it would cause the entire city to fall, to lose its armies to defense. And in response, you hear a much softer voice, Zaldrun, a much more familiar voice, as an orc with a crutch and a very bent leg moves to the side, to the front of the side that is facing Charga. Zaldrun, you recognize this as Haran, your childhood friend. Charga, I did not know you to be such a coward. Why do you believe that our cavalry, our mighty warriors, would ever fall to any Reaver army? It is nonsense. And with the word coward, Charga's supporters immediately start yelling again. Haran looks across the room as the door behind you closes and sees the pack. He holds up a hand, and despite the other group of warriors hating him, they do still respect him enough to quiet down. Zaldrun, is that you? And
yes,
with
it
that,
is.
Aldrin, behind Zaldrun, kind of pokes his head up. Oh, that's not me. It goes back before Zaldrun responds.
Yes, it is. It appears that we have come at a time of great import, but it is still good to see you.
When you respond, Charga immediately begins scowling, and he looks at Toklo with daggers in his eyes, as if you speaking is a grave offense. Haran, on the other hand, beckons for the group of you to come forward. Zaldrun was my closest friend, my most trusted friend, and I believe an outside opinion would be exactly what we need right now. Zaldrun, have you heard that there is a Reaver fleet nearby? An army on our doorstep.
We've seen them with our own eyes on our way in.
You have. Please,
and
tell us
and
what
by
you've seen.
our eyes, I mean his eyes. Let me introduce the rest of my companions.
Yes?
Hello.
Oh.
Yes, she speaks the truth. We saw the fleet. It was quite large, and it was in a bay to the south.
Do we know the name of where it was? I can't remember. The bay.
No.
Okay.
No.
It was it like maybe 2 days away?
Yeah, about.
Yeah, so about 2 days south of here. Several ships.
Have you seen their numbers?
Gunk will give
you can just give the details.
Yeah.
Basically, it looked like about 1,000 of them, which was quite a bit.
1,000 strong, perhaps.
And with that, murmurs begin echoing through the hall off the stone walls as warriors on both sides are apprehensive about the size of the army. Charga takes that hesitation. As I said, it would be foolish to leave these walls. Orakoa has never fallen. He looks at Mirren with her hand up and continues looking around. There is no reason for us to take our army out.
Hi.
Kron, on the other hand, yes, Halfling, do you have something to add?
I'm Mirren. Nice to meet you.
It is a pleasure.
Why not do both? Like you can stay in the walls where it's safe, and then you can just send out like little guerrilla attack groups. Strike them at night, strike them when they're resting, and bring down the numbers without taking great risk, but also proving you're like cool and strong and really powerful and everything. Like totally.
That we don't run away from fights. Good points, Mirren.
Bacho lifts his otter shield on his forearm and rushes harpoon. He's like, "No, you are right. You orcs should hide behind your walls like the knife ears do. The ice belongs to the pack. But if you actually have some bravery, perhaps you would know that the Reavers fight on the sea and on the land, you would have a distinct advantage against them. Or let them sit on your doorstep for a season getting fat, and they'll wait you out, and eventually you'll have to leave and they'll take you then."
Kron seizes on that and shouts out, "Our cavalry cannot lose!" And his side just immediately begins cheering. The other side again begins cursing and swearing at them. And the meeting begins to devolve into more chaos.
Bacho looks back at Gunk and kind of smiles and gives a little half laugh. "I love getting orcs worked up."
Nothing like just walking in somewhere you've never been and just going for it. I should have expected nothing less.
Scratching his back with the otter.
They're both right. They could do both. They'd eat their cake and have everything, like all the crumbs and everything.
Yes, if you
Targa
haven't
sneers at
noticed, this is a bit more of a I have to win, you have to lose type
Well,
of
then they can all die,
society.
I guess, if they want.
Splitting our forces would do nothing but sign a death warrant to those who go out to fight.
And what
The
if you
problem
stay here
is that-
behind the walls and you die anyway?
I'm
And what
talking
did you
about strike teams where hobbits are
These
very good
walls
at
have
it.
never fallen to no force. No Reavers will be able to pass our walls. And Charga's side again begins cheering at that, and the other side begins cursing at them.
What happens when
And-
you run out of food and supplies?
Yeah, how many
and
calories do you need a day?
We will run out of food long after they have run out of food. It is much harder to feed an army on foot than an army in their homeland.
They have the sea to feed them, where they always get their sustenance from. However, you are right. They are at least 2 days' march from your walls. So if you're going to strike them, you need a plan. But as I said, feel free to cower behind the walls. It won't matter to me. You orcs, elves, you're all the same.
We took out 2 ships by Reavers and we're like already like ahead. We're winning. We're winning this fight. You have
She
0,
speaks the
we have
truth.
2.
Kron looks very surprised at that. Zaldrin, you took out 2 ships?
We all did. Yes, we did. We still have some of them, actually.
You've captured 2 ships, even more impressive.
Well, yes, which is why I don't understand this. Let's just sit here and
Are you in the
have an
market?
unprecedented force outside. Just see what they do. I don't
We
understand
can
that. That's
sell
not
you
what
a
I'm trained
ship.
to do.
We
well,
have 2.
I don't know. I am actually in the market. I'm very curious about growing the size of my fleet. Because currently I have 2. I wouldn't mind more.
I think we just want one and we sell the other one for lots of money.
Money.
We should point out to you that we have forced several of the Reavers who were on the ship to bend the knee to our leadership. they might, if you were to send an emissary out to them, they may have intelligence that you could use to make an informed decision on whether or not to strike the fleet.
If you give us money, we can tell you where they are.
Targa begins roaring at this. This is a war council. It is not open to outsiders, and now it has become a trade deal. We are buying ships. No, we are going to war. We are planning an attack.
Excellent.
Is there never any economy involved in war? I'm pretty sure that there is a good amount of economic gain associated with arming for war. Do not be naive.
As you finish that, before Charga can even respond, and you can tell that he's angry and just barely holding it in, the orc on the throne, again, feebly lifts a hand just a couple inches, and the room goes quiet immediately. The attendant comes forward again, puts his ear right up to her, and just strains to hear. The Sahal says the council is over for the day. We will reconvene tomorrow if necessary. And without any sort of questioning or resistance, the orcs immediately begin gathering their things and leaving. Charga does not come anywhere close to talking to the rest of you, but he does make a point of walking directly past you without saying a word, without even looking at you. Kron, on the other hand, is very excited to see you, Zaldrun. He moves as quickly as his crippled leg will let him, and goes to embrace you in a hug. And as he's holding you, he pulls back. You're even stronger than I remember. You're massive. You got more muscles?
The cost of age has not done good things, but at least you can see this, because he, as should have been expected, met me with proclamations of my growing weakness.
He's a bitter old man that will never see the future.
I have to admit, the roles that you two played during our training days seem to have been quite reversed at this point.
Things have changed quite a bit in your absence. Do you have lodging? Any of you? Do you have a place to stay?
We have the ships that we have spent many a night on.
No. Unacceptable. You will come to my tavern, the Dancing Snake. It is a fantastic place. It has the best ale in Orokoa. And with that, he begins to use his crutch to hobble out. You can tell that there are some of his followers that grab his things for him, some of his war gear that he brought but never actually put on. They don't actually follow him out, though. They just begin taking it away and dispersing. It doesn't seem as if he has an entourage at all. In fact, roll an insight check for me if you want, Zaldrun. +1 because you know.
That's grand total of 3. That's 1 success.
You've always known him as a performer. You know that he likes to be an entertainer of sorts. And you can tell that he's kind of putting on an act even now, even with you a little bit. Not that he's being dishonest with you, but that he's making a show of being the gracious one, the humble one. As he begins leading you out through the town, he begins asking you questions about your trip here. Quite a bit about the most recent part of the trip, where you were able to capture 2 Reaver ships. He asks for many details on that battle. You continue through many of these streets in Orokoa. And really, you get the sense that he's just excited to see you and to catch up with you. And with that insight, you also feel like that he sees an opportunity here. As you're walking through, moving through the streets, without any worry about people listening or anything like that, he begins telling you about the situation with him and Charga. He talks about how he came back to Orokoa after his injury and was essentially homeless. He lived on the streets and began working as a snake charmer. And he was able to earn enough money to start a tavern. And that tavern was earned enough money to buy a bigger tavern, which is the Dancing Snake that he has now. He started a family. He has 2 children. Unfortunately, his wife died. The children, however, are strong and healthy. He seems very proud of them. Charga, however, has become very bitter about his success, especially how Haran used it to leverage his success into being an advisor for Necron. In fact, one of her most trusted advisors. Charga, of course, valuing strength overall, seeing Haran a cripple as an advisor. It was an insult to him, and he thinks it was an insult to the clan. Zaldrin, so what really brings you back to Oracoa? It's been so long.
Yes, was not. I may have never come back. You know that. It wouldn't have necessarily bothered me, but I've come into some good company here, and really just, happenstance led to another happenstance, and here we are with some things to sell, and we are glad to have survived Gwenot upon the seas.
It is a miracle that you survived the week of darkness. And of course, if you have things to sell, I'm happy to buy. I'm always in the market. I have quite a few trade connections. I will take any goods off your hands. And those Reaver ships present quite the opportunity. I'd like to discuss more with you. Would you all have dinner with me tonight? I would like to introduce you to someone as well.
We can have another drinking contest, Aldrin.
Indeed, we can. Do you still do those things, or have you taken yourself to being responsible there, Ron?
I have many responsibilities, but none of them require me not to drink ale.
Sounds like a plan.
With that, he brings you into this tavern, which again is a stone building, not nearly as impressive as the castle that you were just in. It has a wooden roof with shingles instead of the thatch that you're used to. Still very expensive compared to everywhere else. The tavern itself is much more lively. There's quite a few people singing, entertaining, and the tavern is also surprisingly diverse. There's quite a few humans in here, and a handful of halflings, dwarves, and even a wolfkin. And a Skraeling.
Now, anyway.
Now there is, yes. He gets you set up with the innkeeper, the tavern keeper, who tells you where your rooms are, and then points you towards a back room and says that he will meet you there in a few hours, and he has someone that he needs to go talk to set up a meeting. What are you guys doing in the meantime here? You've got a couple hours to kill.
Bacho unties the otter off of his arm and sits him down at the table. You did well, little otter.
Oh, thank God you untied me. I lost feeling in my leg.
You lost a leg, actually. Yeah, so.
Can we just not do the shield thing anymore? Can I not be a shield?
No, you can be a shield.
I'm going to choose not to be a shield.
All right, you can just be a forearm bracer.
Not better.
While we are in civilized town, we should try to find you an alternative foot or a peg leg or something of that sort, so that you have your balance back.
Peg leg.
Yes, like a peg that you stick into the leg or something, and so you don't fall over or something.
You're trying to stick pegs in me. You're trying to peg me?
Nope. No, I don't think you understand what that means.
I do not understand.
Right. You probably wouldn't ask the question if you did.
You guys settle into a table nearby.
Melissa, she's right over Melissa. Just Google it. Google it, Melissa. Google pegging.
Don't.
Not with the reflection.
Do it on your work phone, too. That'd be good.
All right. You guys find your way to your rooms. You're able to set stuff down. Aldrin sets down all the food and gear that he was taking. He immediately goes to take a nap. You guys can find a table downstairs if you'd like. A lot of the entertainers stay true to the name, the Dancing Snake, where they are snake charmers. They have all sorts of flutes and drums that they beat, and these snakes begin swaying to them. Gunk, you would actually be able to tell there's a bit of magic to it. They really are being charmed with this very mild sort of enchantment.
They are controlling beasts, you say?
There's a bit of a magic to the instruments, as if they have a mild enchantment to them. And it does control the beast to an extent. It's not such that they could command it, but it does make them sway and move in such a way.
I understand. I was wondering if it was coming from them, the performers themselves.
As far as you can tell, it's not them. It seems to be the instruments.
I see.
Bacho will just sit himself at the table with the otter, the fox, and the monkey, just to see if anybody does anything.
You get quite a few looks from the orcs nearby. The humans too, actually. But like I said, this is quite a diverse tavern, so no one seems offended that you all are there, but you're still a motley crew even by those standards. And having a fox and a monkey and an otter and a wolfkin at a table is not anything anyone there has ever seen before.
Bacho looks over at Gunk. They are not easily provoked here, at least.
It is sort of surprising. It's kind of belies their reputation, don't you think?
Indeed.
It is good, I guess. I suppose.
It'll be quiet, which sounds boring, but
I don't mind
I would
a day or
just
two
give
of
it
quiet.
some time.
Apparently,
I would
there will
give
be
it
a
some
war
time.
here in like a day or two, so we're early.
Apparently, if Charga has his way, we're just going to sit inside and just wait and see what happens.
Oh, wait.
Just
We're going to stay here for this. I assumed we were leaving.
no, sorry, old habits. We, the collective orc group, not we. But it's for as much as he, and she'll kind of different scars that she has, be like, as much as he inflicted quite the punishments during training, he has turned into quite the let's sit and batten down and just let things happen out there. And she'll kind of tell the story of how it was actually Charga's fault that Haran was injured, that he was just absolute asshole about training, and there was a skirmish that was lost, and Charga, despite Fran and I being mere children at the time, was convinced that it was Fran's fault, and spent the next 3 days having him take on all of the elder warriors one by one. And he did his best to take on all of these foes, but small injuries led to small missteps, and his leg was completely shattered. It appears that Charga then and now has no awareness of his part in what happened.
We could do a quiet murder for you.
Oh, I believe it's embarrassing enough to be seen by half of the group here as the coward that he is. Let him sit in that.
We are beating him by 2.
As you all are talking, you notice that there is actually an orc nearby, like hovering over the table, just a couple steps away, watching intently. You look at him, and he's like a gangly, awkward teenage orc. And he's got a wooden tray, and he's just holding it like, I came here to take your order, but you were talking, and I didn't know if I could interrupt or not. What do you want?
Does this teenager look like a younger version of Fran?
It does not, actually. No.
Okay.
We're going to have a drinking competition.
Blood
Okay,
and
lots of
mulled
ale?
wine. No,
Blood? I don't
not
have much blood.
Just take some calf's blood and mix it in with some wine and heat it. So it's the temperature of blood.
Blood wine. Okay.
Mm.
I'll remember that. Anyone else? Just more ale?
Could you get the
Ale.
like all of the parts of like the vegetables and the animals that you don't normally use? Just put that in a bowl and bring it, please. Also, if you have any fruit, my friend Ted very much enjoys fruit.
Fruit like potatoes?
That is not a fruit.
What is a
What
fruit?
do you have? What do you have that has seeds?
Seeds. Acorns.
Fruit.
Gunk will look at Ted and Ted will shrug.
Okay, that's fine. Acorns will do.
Okay.
Oh, hey.
Normally we use them for like the incense, like the smell, but I suppose you can eat them.
Scrap meat as well. Little fox needs a little sustenance.
Okay, scrap meat, trash, blood wine,
Whoa,
ale.
hey. There's no reason to.
I'm sorry, did I misunderstand? What do you want?
Well, I mean, calling it trash is sort of insulting. I'm just making sure that stuff isn't being
The
wasted.
scraps. It's not.
It's okay. I don't
coming
charge for
out
trash.
of
It's
the
free.
Trash.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's cool then.
Just
All right.
ale.
Ale. Lots of ale. Coming back. And then he
Zaldrin.
turns and he like kind of trips over himself a little bit and he starts to fall, but then he catches himself and just turns it into like a sprint instead. Starts running towards the back.
Zaldrin, didn't you have something you had to do for that pompous elf here within the city?
Yes.
Weren't we delivering someone though?
Yes.
And we didn't get that person.
I could not recall. I paid little attention to the knife ears and what they wanted.
Are there elves?
Ridiculous.
Weren't we delivering the ship captain who died?
Ah, yes.
That is correct.
But I don't know because the ship captain was confused because he only had like market goods, but I don't think he got what he was supposed to deliver. So we don't actually have anything to deliver.
We
Right.
may still be able to try to figure out who it was supposed to be delivered to and
Well, also
gather some
wasn't
intelligence.
that elf just like a total dick as well?
Yes.
So like now that we are not
Yeah.
within the safety of his city, if we find him, maybe we could take out a little bit of our frustration on him,
Okay.
perhaps.
Tear his spine out and eat his liver.
Right, like that. Yeah. And we'll
We
say,
could
oh,
find-
we're avenging Octa or something. Yeah.
An apothecary and then put poison into a keg and then give the keg to everybody we don't like.
Oh, I could just do that for you if you want. I can contaminate food and drink very
Oh.
easily.
That is really easy. We can
Not
get
that I
Zaldrin's,
have done it before.
The
So
otter
we
pipes
have
up. Mirren, didn't you just get sick from food?
Coincidence.
Hmm.
So between
must
us
have
all,
been a coincidence.
we have lots of ways to murder those that we do not like, with brute force, as Bacho and I do, and with a bit more subtlety. Mirren and Gunk.
What are you talking about? I have never murdered anyone in my life.
Well, I don't know that subtle and gunk go together. He's quite loud about his playing with the dead thing stuff.
I haven't mentioned it one time since we've been here. Not even one time.
We have mentioned lots of other things since we have been here.
True.
The teenage orc comes back with a giant tray and holding a wooden bucket of obviously trash as well. He sets the tray down on the table, puts the bucket in front of Gunk. I didn't know exactly what you would want. I figured you could pick through it. And he pulls out a leather bag and you hear like a soft clinking. Acorns for the monkey, and ales. I just brought a bunch of them. And I was told that it's all in the house, so don't worry. And blood wine. I didn't have wine. I did have ale that I put blood into. And I kind of like held the mug over the fire a little bit, so I think it's warm. He sets that in front of Bacho.
Bacho smells it and then tips it over. You people do not know how to consume, but that is all right.
I kind of have to clean that up now. I'm going to go grab a towel.
And Zaldrin will just sort of give Bacho kind of an eye. I guess we'll have to go somewhere that has a vintner that meets your standards.
Scratches his ear. Zaldrin, you are of the pack. You always know how to make me smile.
Does not always happen in reverse.
So,
And at that, he laughs because he thinks it's a joke.
Sure he does.
so Zaldrin, this friend of yours, the Heran, yes, that's right. Said
Ron, yes.
they wanted something from us. Is this going to be another one of those things where our time is wasted, where we are lowered to the deeds of these mortals when we have bigger things to do with our lives?
What bigger things do we have to do with our lives at the moment? What are we even doing next? It's a
Trying
genuine
to
question.
kill
I don't know
night
what we're doing.
ears. And then going to donate stuff at the mother and no, something else maybe.
I need to deliver a very important item to the Earth Mother. Yes.
Mm.
Are you
Yeah, we
going
have to-
all the way to the mother and father?
We're doing a lot of mom and dad stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. We started this journey unable to even hire a ship when we needed it. So perhaps some extra funds could help us get where we're going faster.
And if the orcs do decide to strike at the fleet, I would very much love to tear the throat out of that Wolfkin Reaver who captured us those moons ago.
It would be cool to kill the unwashed.
Yes. We are in agreement with that.
And with that, the next couple hours pass by mostly uneventfully. You get all the food and drink that you want, mostly to your standards, not entirely to your standards. And after a couple hours, Haran shows up, and you hear the crutch on the stone floor before you even see him. You turn, he hobbles over. If you would follow me to the back room, I have dinner sent out. It should already be prepared. We shall feast, celebrate, old friends reunited.
Soldier, it's good. I kept up with you this time a little bit.
You've done amazing. Would you like an arm as we go down the stairs down to the other room?
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah.
Okay.
Can I bring my trash with me? Do you mind? I'm not finished with it.
You take as much as you want, of course. What's mine is yours.
It's very good trash, to be honest. I was kind of surprised.
Nothing but the best here. And you can tell that he's kind of like off-put, but at the same time, he wants to make you happy. So he's just trying to...
Would you like some? There are some potato skins in there. They're quite delicious.
I'm going to wait because, like I said, I had dinner set out. I don't want to spoil my
They
appetite.
were right at the bottom of the basket, which means like it was getting all the juices from the meats are soaking in. It's delicious.
I would hate to take the best bites from you.
That is very kind. Zaldrin, you have a very kind friend here. Yes, excellent host. Far better
I tried to tell you all.
than that jackass elf we met way back when.
It's
He
okay.
cocks his head at that.
He's on our kill list too.
Interesting. Zaldrin, do you have a moment? The rest of you may go in, of course.
Yes, of course. I will. And Zaldrin will pass off Mirren because Zaldrin was going to help Mirren down the stairs, and she'll sort of pass her off to Bacho. Help her down.
Bacho's got Mirren in his right arm and the otter in his left arm.
And the group of you begin making your way down, but Zaldrin and Haran, you're moving a little bit closer as he's using his crutch, and he purposefully wants to let them have some space.
It's good to see you, old friend.
It is good. What I said before in the War Council about you being my oldest and closest friend, my most trusted friend, I meant that. Can I
It
still
makes sense
trust
that
you?
I am your oldest friend, but I should hope you have found someone to trust more than me in the years and years since we have seen each other.
I've found people I can trust, but you and I have a history that is valuable.
It's true. What can I do you for?
Right now, I just wish to know if I can still trust you.
You can. I must say that I am part of a group, and I
Of course,
do not keep secrets from them.
I do not wish for that. I'm being foolish. You know me. I'm always dramatic. I simply wish to
Cannot
know that
disagree
we are
with that.
still, our relationship is still where we left it.
I'm not here to screw you over if you are concerned about that, and I will ensure that none of my traveling companions do as well.
Or that I'm about to tell you information that could be dangerous to me, not to you. And I would hope that it won't be used against me. It could be kept secret, whether you choose to act on it or not.
And so Zaldrin will sort of look around. Go on.
Inside. We'll talk about it with your friends. The
Okay.
rest of the group of you make it to the back room, several steps ahead of Zaldrin and Haran. You see that there is a large wooden table with all sorts of food on it. Not extravagant, not like royal feast, but still very nice, very high quality food. And there's quite a few humans in this back room as well that appear to be warriors. They're dressed with mail. They have long daggers at their side. You can tell that they've piled their weapons in one of the corners. And at the center of them is an elf that you all recognize as the Delaire Brynmore, the elf that you've come to find. He sees you and recognizes you and immediately stands up, pushing the bench back that all of them are on. The group of them all put their hands to their daggers.
Unfortunate.
It's the nasty elf.
The three of you had a couple steps before Haran and Zaldrin got in there. Is there anything you wanted to do?
I
Well,
probably should have been drunk.
If their hands drop to their weapons, of course, Bacho's hand will drop to his longsword, and he's got his harpoon in his other hand. He just growls at them.
Mirren falls on the ground face first.
He drops the otter, and Mirren goes for his weapons and growls.
It's a tense standoff for a few moments until Zaldrin and Haran come in. Haran immediately tries to calm yourselves. It's a meeting of friends. What is the meaning of this?
This knife here is no friend of ours.
If you heard us earlier, that's the one we were talking about.
Delaire Brynmore looks right at Haran. Have you meant to betray me? Is that what this is? Is this an ambush? No, of course not. This is no betrayal. This is Zaldrin, my closest friend, most trusted friend. She can help us.
Haran, I suggest you get to talking quickly to explain to us how exactly we are going to be on the same side, because I'm not, and none of the rest of us are likely to be on a side with him.
Very well. Let's everyone calm down, sit back down, enjoy the meal. We can have a truce here for one meal, can we not? And if we wish to kill each other, we can do it after when our bellies are full. That sounds fair. That sounds reasonable, does it not?
On one condition.
I do like to kill on a full stomach.
On one condition.
What's the name of the elf again? Could you...
Brynmore.
Only if this elf... If we are to sit at this table and be peaceful amongst us, we must break bread as is tradition. Here, share from my bucket, from my plate, to your mouth. You do that, and we shall sit. You do not, I shall melt your mind in front of your foolish men.
And I will hold up the bucket.
I want a
Let's get ready to
manipulation,
rumble.
and I think it's fair to say -1 on that.
That's fine. It's fine.
We do have audience.
I'll take an audience dice to counterbalance the mice. Oh, goodness.
I think this is revenge for Conan.
One success. One success.
One success. Bryn Mawr immediately begins to say no, but Hran steps in. Bryn Mawr, these are valuable allies. They can help our cause. There is nothing wrong with sharing a meal together. And Hran himself reaches into the bucket and grabs some of those soaked potato skins that he talks about. He hands one to Bryn Mawr, and then he puts one into his mouth and begins eating. Bryn Mawr looks disgusted and angry. However, with Hran mediating, bridging the gap, he does take that potato skin and he begins to just take small bites out of it. You can tell that he thinks it tastes awful, but he's forcing it down.
The nasty elf, he left with a bunch of elves and now he has humans, so they're all dead. And then he had orc friends before that are not here, so are they all dead? Have you killed everyone, mean elf?
Mirren, we are to eat first and then have these
Oh.
conversations after we eat.
Can I spit in his food?
Not until after we eat and after
Oh.
we talk. And then maybe we can do lots of things, but we
Okay.
must eat first. You might want to eat a little bit too before you finish that mug off.
They're even bigger here, though.
They are. They're a delightful size.
Mm.
Now that that's settled, we're
Gunk.
calm.
Gunk wants to make sure he sits next to the elf.
Well, that bench is already filled with like his honor guard, but you can like wiggle in between a couple of them if you
No,
want
I
to.
won't. I'll just look at them like, move.
I think it's fair to say that you all take one side and the elf and his friends take the other side. Hran again trying to mediate.
You are going to divide us? If we are going to work together, we cannot even sit together. How could we possibly
Oh.
work together if you would not let me sit next to him?
Come sit with me.
Gunk really wants to sit next to the elf.
I know.
He really wants to be right next to you.
It is not so much that we can't work together, but there's no reason to needle each other. There's no reason to poke at each other. These seats are already available. Those seats are already taken. It would be rude if someone asked you to get up and take your seat, would it not?
Gunk doesn't understand that stuff. Gunk, come sit with me.
So you are saying no. I understand.
And then he'll go sit next to Mirren. And he'll just like be staring daggers at the elf the whole time.
It's great.
With your one success, I think Bryn Mawr would, after you go to sit by Mirren, he would get up. He may have the seat next to me. And one of his guards would get up and move, not actually going around to the other side of the table to sit, but just moving towards one end of the wall, the far end, and just leaning against it, leaving an open space for you, Gunk.
If he's sitting, is he within arm's reach of the elf?
The guard?
No,
or
am I? Is Gunk?
There's a space right now next to him if you would like to be within arm's reach, yes.
I would like to very, very, very much.
With that one success, you got it. The space is open. You got your seat. You got your bucket of trash in front of you.
And
Mostly
will
empty, but
put
still
it
with some scraps.
Right there between us on the bench. Feel free to help yourself at any point.
Thank you.
You
And
are
Hran
welcome.
again begins to try and manage the situation, try to pull it back. The Delaire Bryn Mawr has become a valued friend of mine, Zaldrin, just as you are a valued friend of mine. In fact, he is quite responsible for my rise here in Oracoa. He and I have formed an alliance with mutual benefits.
Did
As
he
I
tell
hope
you?
that-
Did he tell you how he sent forces to kill us, rob us, and then kill us?
I did not know that was you. I suppose you are the ones holding the artifacts then, the Ark?
We hold everything for the Earth Mother. Is that not right, Gunk?
We are mere messengers, and we do her bidding.
Bryn
And we
Mawr speaks
don't
up.
appreciate when our lives are threatened.
Yeah, like nobody even asked nicely.
If you understood the value of those items that you hold, the power that they contain, you would have made the same choice.
No.
Do you threaten to kill me with absolutely no relationship to those items whatsoever, actually?
I simply wished to see my goals achieved, my ambitions realized. I believe that anyone can understand that. Anyone with vision can understand that.
No.
Yes. Blackmail and murder are the weapons of the weak knife ears. I understand that is true.
On again. We all have different tactics. I understand, Bacho, that you would probably align more with Zaldrin and I on how we think methods should be handled. However, the elves have their own methods, and they seem to be quite effective as they have ruled for centuries. However, there's a reason that we can meet in the middle here, especially knowing now you hold very valuable artifacts and something that currently is extremely valuable, 2 Reaver ships.
We can sell those. Good, but not to the elf, not to the elf.
Of course not.
Yes, it seems that we have a lot of things. So conversations like this often include, what does the other side of the table bring?
The other side of the table has had a trusted alliance with me for some time, and he has put me in a position where I can offer you the gold for your ships that you wish, or another option. The Sahal Necron is dying. I believe she will be dead by the end of the night. I will succeed her. Whether the clan votes for me or not, the Delaire Brynmore's gold has ensured that it will happen. When I succeed her, I will lead our forces to attack the Reavers. The clans only respect strength, and for a cripple to lead them, this Reaver fleet is quite the opportunity. I need to be able to show that I can defend our homelands with strength. Your Reaver ships provide a valuable opportunity, and that a crushing defeat of the Reaver fleet would be difficult to achieve if they could retreat to their own ships. If I could send you with crew and soldiers to attack their ships while the armies of Oracoa meet them on the beaches, it'd be a hammer to an anvil. Would you be open to this?
We risk much for a land that isn't ours. What do you offer?
Much gold as you can carry. I will send the ships. You can have first choice of all spoils. And I think there's something else. Now that I know that you have the Ark, he kind of looks at each one of you, you can tell he's trying to guess which one of you would hold it. Now that I know you all have the Ark, I can tell you that there is another temple beneath this very city, and whatever's in it will be yours. You have the key to it. The way I see it, it is your rightful property, what's inside that temple.
Why did
gold.
Mr. Mean Elf want the stuff?
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that. You burped halfway through.
Why does Mr. Mean Elf want our stuff though? Like why?
Because it holds power. The power to rule, the power to control.
Why didn't we rule then?
So the alliance that I have with the Delaire Brynmore is that he ensures that I rule in Oracoa, and in turn, I will provide him with the strength that he needs to rule in his homeland. He will ride back at the lead of an army of orcs.
We have been to his homeland. We have been to Terran. It is a terrible place where the elves are cruel to all but elves. Why would we do anything to help him persist in this manner of living?
It is not to help him, it is to help me. Huron looks pleadingly at Zaldrin there.
No, I will help a friend of Aldrin, but I will not help this elf, especially if it is to continue his reign of oppression and pushing down those who are not as wealthy and powerful as he is. If you wish,
I did
I asked-
see. Haran, have you traveled to those shores? Have you seen the systems that have been put in place? Exactly what Gunk speaks of? This is not how we do society.
I have not seen the problems with their land. However, I have seen firsthand the problems with ours. With me ruling this town, this city, I can change things for the better. That is my first responsibility, to change my own homeland for the better.
I'm sure, that's fine. His land is like wiped out by parasites right now, and also humans are revolting. So I don't think he has a home to go back to.
That is why he needs me, just as I need his gold.
Orcs fighting parasites? Aldrin? They don't know.
They don't know. There is much belief that strength alone can solve problems. You have not seen what we have seen, the spreading of these parasites throughout the land.
No, I have not. You are correct. It is not a problem that has affected Oracoa. We've not heard any rumors or news of it nearby, so I have not seen fit to worry about it. We have an army of Reavers 2 days' march. There are more pressing matters.
If you
I
plan to
say
send
we-
orcs that way, it will become orc problem.
That is a problem for the future, though. As of now, I must ensure that I succeed, that I rule over the lands and maintain that rule, which can only be done by defeating the army at our doorstep. I'll be honest with you. Most of the orcs in our clan do not wish for me to lead. Most of them wish to follow Charga. He has the strength, he has the experience. But I am the better choice. I will make the better decisions. I will improve things. I will make things better.
Yeah, but like that's what your speech is like really similar to what the humans said to us when the first city we visited, and then what the elves said to us when the elven city, and now you guys are saying like, oh, it's a problem for later when everybody else is dead and you're the only one that's left and nobody's there to help you. It's a problem, and there's nobody there anymore.
Let them have their cities. Leave us to the glaciers, the forests, and the water. I don't care what any of them do. Give us our due and our pay for killing Reavers, and let us leave all of this behind.
I'm still happy to kill Unwashed, yes.
I will gladly buy the ships off you.
We need one.
Perhaps I could sell you a different one. Both ships would be extremely valuable to me. 2 crews would be much more successful than one.
At the end of the battle, as long as we sail away with enough gold to fill the hull of a ship, that was fine by me. What says you, Gunk? And of course the treasure beneath your city.
I would like the treasure beneath the city, and I would like this one's boots.
And he will point towards the elf.
All of his boots, not just the ones he wears, but all that he brought with him on his venture across the continent. Every boot.
I think it's fair to say another manipulation check there. It's been some time.
It's fine.
Have you put stats in manipulation yet?
No. I'll push.
Would you like an audience?
No, I already pushed. One success. 1-6.
Give me an insight here too, and this one doesn't matter as mechanically, but I just want to give you some extra information.
Okay. Insight. 1 success again. 1-6.
Bryn Mawr is shocked that you would even suggest that. He's used to a life of nobility, where no one would ever push him.
And no one would
And
ever
he-
walk in the mud in Terran.
Exactly. And you can tell that he's opening his mouth to say no immediately, but Haran lets out a little and you look at Haran, and Haran, you can tell that he has a bit of control over the Del Air right now, whether it's because Bryn Mawr had to flee his city or because he's in an orcish homeland. Something about that, you get the idea that Bryn Mawr does not have leverage right now. It's a big reason why he was willing to eat your potato skins and accept that you sit next to him. He just, as much as it's irritating him, he feels that he has no other choice right now. And the reason behind that you may not know exactly, but you feel confident that he just has to go along with it. And after Haran makes that noise, Bryn Mawr says, "Very well, I will give you my boots after the meal. Unfortunately, I did not have enough time to pack more than one, as I was forced to leave early due to circumstances." And he looks over at the rest of the group.
Then I will
Trying
I
take,
saw
to
you running away in the middle of the
murder
night.
us.
Mhm.
I will take your coat, your horses. You may keep your trousers.
Haran steps in. Perhaps enough gold to buy horses and coats.
Gunk will
I feel
look
that-
at Haran.
If you offer me gold another time, I shall no longer be your friend. I am tired of people like you and like this thinking they can buy us with gold. There is nothing you all here have that we truly need. We are the ones here with leverage. If we wanted this room bathed in your blood, I merely look at Bacho and I ask for it to be done. But that is not what we are doing. We are talking. But you will not insult me again by thinking that you can buy me. Do you understand this?
I meant no offense. You were asking for material objects. I offered material
No.
objects.
I was
Gold
asking
coat.
for the discomfort of this one, not for his things. I would urinate on it, and throw it in the fire before I would ever wear it, or sell it, or profit from it.
He did try to have me killed, I'll remind you. A bit of discomfort is the least that we can ask for.
And don't forget, he humiliated you in his own home.
He did indeed.
And he's going to get all of your orcs killed.
Valid points, Saldrin. You are my closest friend, and an attempt on your life is unacceptable, is it not, Bryn Mawr? I apologize. I did not know that you knew each other, and I regret my hasty choice to try and rob you. And he
See, that's the
begins to-
problem with being an asshole, is that you never know who you're being an asshole to and who they may be friends with. So maybe there's a lesson here to just not be such an asshole.
As he begins unbuttoning his coat, you can tell he's biting his tongue before he comes out with, "I will endeavor to make myself a better person."
Gunk, do you want me to urinate on his coat now?
Yes, please.
Perhaps outside. I do not wish to have to clean the floors. This is my own home.
That'll make good nesting material.
Or you can just do it in a fireplace to be polite. It's fine.
So are we going to war or are we just leaving them to their own devices?
We kill the unwashed. I'm happy with that. We get some adventure and treasure for Gunk. He likes that. And the drink's good here.
It sounds like we have an agreement. 3 sides, none of us wishing to be allies, but there's a future between us, a better future that requires all of us working together. Can we drink to that?
Where's the knife ears going during the fight?
He will be part of my command.
Good. Keep him away from me.
He will not be on the ships with you. I would
Though I've
very
always
much
wondered,
love to see you in battle. However, I am not much of a sailor.
I'm very curious what is it you are not telling us? What secrets you have not yet revealed here? What power you seem to have over this proud one next to me? It's very curious. I have said awful things to this Cretan, and he has bit his tongue each time, and he seems to be deferential to you. It is very curious. I feel there is something you have not told us. I feel there is something you are hiding from us. And I fear that that sort of hidden information makes for difficult allies. Perhaps it is time for you to tell us more.
And at that, he's going to cast telepathy, and he wants to trying to get some of these thoughts up to the surface on this is on Haran, I guess.
Absolutely. Yeah.
very crafty.
That is, yeah, it's power level 2, so it's buffed up a little bit if necessary, and no mishap.
Okay. Haran first gives the response that he says. You are right. We should spend more time together. We'll spend the evening together. We can discuss everything to make you feel better. But for now, a toast to our relationship, our future. And as you're hearing his thoughts, you can see, we'll call it a memory of sorts, of him watching Bryn Mawr coming into the city during the week of darkness. And he was trudging in the city through the snow, just a few scragglers behind him. You saw him leave with 40 bodyguards at breakneck speeds, all of them on horses. You are now seeing this memory of Bryn Mawr entering Oracoa with just him and maybe a dozen or so men, no horses, not much baggage, just one large chest that's being carried between 2 of them, and that's it. And you also get the sense, we'll call it another memory, of when Haran put Bryn Mawr up. The only way that Bryn Mawr is secure right now is because Haran is protecting him through their alliance. And you don't get the sense that Haran wants to betray him, but Haran is holding up the alliance, but Bryn Mawr's just lost all his leverage, because at any point Haran could choose to kill him and take the gold and just be done with the alliance. Right now, the alliance is just being held because Haran doesn't see the benefit in doing that. You also, through that telepathy, I don't know why I was saying telekinesis, telepathy, you also get memories or thoughts of, we'll say, how Haran came to be a possible successor to Necron through a special type of elf poison. Necron is not sick from any natural causes, but she's actually been poisoned by Haran. And Haran also administered his last dose just before the War Council, which is why he's very confident that she will not make it through the night.
Well,
a toast?
Of course. Freely, we should all drink from it, yes? We are friendly. We are allies.
Allies.
Fresh wine, no additives, no poison.
No, of course not. You are in my home. You are safe. You have my hospitality.
Of course. Of course.
But you do have wine? He tried to
Ale.
get some wine out there and was told that there was only ale, and the concoction that was made was not at all to his liking.
Unfortunately, we only have ale here. I did ask the Bryn Mawr to bring some on his trip, but unfortunately, he was not able to pack it. And the Bryn Mawr Delaire kind of stiffens up there. But fresh ale and a toast. With that, everyone's drinks are refilled. He holds it up.
Bacho does
Future
not drink the
prospects
ale.
And dead reavers.
Bacho will just, to dead reavers, but I will not drink this weak, bloodless piss. But I'll kill
you complain
reavers.
too much. I'll have yours.
Thank you, Zaldrin.
I can drink more too, Zaldrin.
I think I'll have this one. You get the next round.
Okay.
You have your toast. The rest of the meal passes by uneventfully, but it's actually cut short by Haran, who, as people are still eating, he begins to clear his throat and say, well, I suppose it's time. He slaps his knees, and then Bryn Mawr and his guard get up to leave, and you all feel like you might as well, but Haran says, no, please. I said you'd spend the evening with me. Please remain. We have more food to eat. Bryn Mawr understands that this is an insult to him as well. Zaldrin, you can give me an insight as well.
Oh, such fancy food. Oh.
Bryn Mawr sees this as the insult that it is, stiffens up, but again, bites down on his tongue and nods to his men. They gather their weapons from the corner and they leave the room.
Before he goes, Gunk would say, if you would be so kind, Haran, might the elf remain? Moment of friendship, perhaps. I would like a word, if that is all right. I will not harm him. If I wanted him dead, he would have been dead long ago.
Bryn Mawr, would you be willing to stay an extra moment? He looks at his men. I'll be right out. He walks back over. He does not sit down again. Zaldrin, how'd you do on that insight?
I got 2 successes and took a wits damage because I pushed.
Okay. Again, you see that Haran is giving a performance here, and you get the sense, Haran is not a cruel person. Whether he's changed in the time you've known him or not, could be. But you get the sense right now that he added that extra insult just because he was reading the room. He could tell that you all did not like Bryn Mawr, and he wanted to dig at Bryn Mawr to gain your trust.
Okay.
Bryn Mawr comes back over to Gunk.
Haran, would you be so kind? Could you speak with your boy to see if he has any more trash for me? I am quite hungry. It has been a long journey. Would that be too? As friends, I would imagine this is not difficult for you. You have my word.
If we should.
I shall not harm the elf.
We will not. You have my word as well.
Zaldrin, you are my most trusted friend. Your word is enough for me. He gets up and he walks out of the room. And the group of you are now alone with the Delaire Bryn Mawr.
Looking expectantly at Gunk as to why this.
Looking expectantly, nervously at Gunk.
Yeah, so the elf, so the Gunk will just turn to the elf.
If you admit to providing the poison that Haran used to assassinate the Sahal,
Necron? Was it? Is it Sahal?
Necron is her name. Sahal's the title.
Sahal's the position. Yep.
We would do whatever.
I gotta make up fancy titles to confuse everyone.
We will do what we can to prevent your death. If you choose not to,
sorry, Gunk. What was that? Haran did what?
Yes, I'm sorry. I forgot to explain this to you. Your friend assassinated or attempted to assassinate the Sahal using an elf poison that this one here provided.
This is how he plans to take his power?
Yes.
By deceit and murder?
Indeed. But the elf here will testify to this, yes?
I shall point out. Why would I testify to something that would incriminate myself if it were true?
Because only Zaldrin and I took an oath not to harm. Bacho did not.
Me
Yes.
neither.
Or
That
Mirren.
is true.
Or Mirren. They both actually do a lot of damage.
Mine was meant to be on behalf of everyone, but to whom would he testify? Gunk?
Well, the other one, Shargra.
But Charga's a dick.
Better a dick than a deceitful assassin.
If I was to tell Charga the untrue story of my providing poison to kill Necron, Charga would have my head.
Untrue. Untrue.
Is this why you were coming here to begin with? Is this the blackmail trip that you tried to send me on, was to come here and bring this poison?
I had a package of gold to send to my ally to help fund his endeavors.
I have no patience.
Then how exactly did the poison happen?
I mean, Haran's better. As we can let him take over. It's fine.
You can give me let's call it manipulation here with +2 because you've got the group, the threat, and the actual knowledge of the poison taking him off guard.
One success? Is this something that more than one
No,
would be
that's
better?
fine. Okay. Necron was strong and healthy. She would not have died soon. For our plan to work, Ron had to succeed quickly.
Yeah, but the parasites are killing your city anyway. Like, it's probably mostly gone now.
What was wrong with her leadership that she needed to be replaced?
That is an orc matter. I do not know. I do not care. As for the parasites, I obviously wish to rule effectively to protect my people, and I was hoping that your artifacts would be how I do that, which is why I sent people to take them from you. I did not wish for you to die. I simply wished...
You're dumb liar face.
Okay, simple enough. Will you testify and tell your story, implicating Haran to Shagra? Before you answer rashly, I want you to think very carefully about the words that are about to come out of your mouth, for they might possibly be your last.
Why would you wish me to break my alliance with Ron, your friend?
I do not like people who manipulate and attempt to purchase and deceit. Assassins who slink about in the darkness and buy people off as if they own folk. And I just didn't really like her. And I'm sorry, Sergeant. He was not he gave me a very poor impression.
I do admit he does not seem to be the boy that I once knew.
I will provide testimony if you can provide guarantee that I can leave the city safely.
Done.
Well, can we just give antidote to Necron and not worry about any of that?
That would most likely expedite your ability to be free if you can provide Shargra and the other orcs with a cure for the poison.
No, Charga. Just go talk to Necron directly.
I do not have an antidote, and likely she is already dead as we speak.
That is a shame.
Can you get us to her?
I do not have access to orc leaders. I have access to a tavern. I am fallen from grace.
Yeah.
We will shed no tear for you.
I still say, Zodrin, you are an orc of some noteworthiness. I am sure you could find an audience with the other one, the dick.
If that will be all,
not speak
may I
of
take
this.
my leave?
No, you are not leaving our side.
Then we are to go to Shargra then and turn this one over for his testimony and then escort him out of the city?
Unless you all think that it is better to bury this secret, let the assassination of a leader go unpunished, and let the one who perpetrated rise to power.
This is not how we do things. We, as you saw when you came in, we speak our minds, we fight our battles, we do not poison. It's not our way.
Then our course is clear. Let's take this knife here to testify and then get the hell out of this stinking city. If we're not going to fight Reavers, there's no reason to stay.
Yeah, I'll go with Zaldrin because it's her city, so it's her information.
We're all going together.
Then let us go.
The group of you get up and begin to escort the Delaire Brynmore out of this back room to find waiting, not expectantly, but definitely on edge, listening for any sounds of a fight or anything like that. His several guards and Huron as well, waiting outside.
So you have a lot that you need to attend to here. Clearly, I wanted to show our new friend the old battlegrounds that we used to fight in years ago so that he can fully understand the orc society that he is allying with. I know you have plenty of things to do here, business owner.
I hope that we could catch up. We said that we will spend the evening together. We have stories to tell each other. I wish for you to meet my children.
I'm confused, Zaldrin. I thought we were taking this one to Chagra to confess the poisoning of this one.
Joe is the worst secret keeper ever.
To empathy.
Yeah, Venture's not good at that.
Son of a gun.
The guards immediately put their hands back down to their weapons. They're full weapons this time instead of just daggers.
You could come with us. We're going to get your master out of the city after he confesses his murder plot with Huron.
Zaldrin, you would betray me?
It appears that you have allied yourself with individuals that are beneath what I thought you used to be. And you have attempted a despicable takeover.
I am attempting to change our world for the better. The world that took my leg from me, that forced you into this life of thievery and becoming a strong arm. We were friends, and you assured me that we had our trust.
It was naively given. It appears that you have become enamored with gold and everything that you think gold can provide. And gold has made you into a version of yourself that the Huron that I knew would be quite ashamed of.
Very well. He reaches down to his belt and he pulls out a small knife, not an actual dagger, but like more of an eating knife, the kind that people often keep with them. If you wish to kill me, do it yourself. He hands it to you, Zaldrin.
That'll be slow work, but it should be fun to watch.
This is not the way.
I just thought
Put
he
a
would
knife
take
in my
this
back.
out.
Why not put it in my front?
You sought the easy way to power, and you seek the easy way out of the consequences of your choices. And Zaldrin will bash him upside the head to knock him out.
Let's call it a might test. We're not going to go into combat or anything like that. The guards are only worried about Brynmore, and he doesn't have any guards with him.
All right. I'm going to take an audience for this one. So I'm rolling 6 of these. Rolling, no, 5, 7, 6. I can do math. That's 1. That's 2. 2 sixes.
We're going to say that's enough. Like I said, it's not combat. You're just trying to knock him out. You hit him right upside the head. He doesn't have the dexterity, the balance to avoid it. You can tell his last look is one of shock, as he didn't expect you to actually move. And you move so quickly as well. He didn't have time to react. And with one solid punch, he just crumples to the stone floor. The rest of the tavern, it's not packed in here, but there are other people in there. You hear gasps. You hear people like dropping their plates and mugs and looking over. Doesn't appear as if anyone's actually moving to stop you, though. But they're all looking at you, wondering why you just decked the owner of the tavern.
Nothing to see here. We have some business to attend to. And I imagine he has some sort of cloth or something that she can kind of take off and kind of use to kind of bind his hands.
Yeah, absolutely. You can start use the knife to shred some of the bottom of his shirt to tie him with.
Just throw him over her shoulder.
Let's just make Zaldrin the Sahal. I think that would help, like, the whole thing.
Oh, Mirren. Bacho, remind me next time we make a plan to tell you not to tell anyone else about the plan.
All right, Zaldrin. I didn't know it was a secret. I thought it was pretty obvious what we were doing, but
Yes, but I wouldn't have had to do this if you hadn't said the thing, if you had just quiet with the mouth.
I have a hard time understanding when I should be quiet and when I should
just be honest. This is why I said, remind me to just tell you, and that will make it easier.
I'll remind you. Gumicus had to tell me this in the past, too.
I like to imagine the next time this happens, it's Bacho's like, Zaldrin, should I tell them now about how we're going to kill them? Yeah, is this the time?
Is this the time when I say or don't say? Yeah.
As you all are leaving, as I said, none of the patrons move to stop you. However, one person does, and it's the teenager that was serving you earlier. What are you doing with Ron? You can't take him out of here. You can't just kidnap him.
No, we're taking him for justice. He'll likely be executed.
Immediate justice.
Just immediate.
Was I not?
Did not take long.
He's a good man. He took me in. I was homeless. I'm an orphan.
Well, I guess it's your end now because he's a poisoner.
Yes, now you have a tavern to run. Congratulations.
I won't let you take him.
Yes, you will.
Import some wine, son, and get out of our way.
I'm not moving. You put him down.
You are brave, and I believe that you are loyal. And bravery and loyalty are good characteristics. Also, being wise. Look at yourself, look at our group, and look what we just did. It would be wise to let these events play out and see what comes of it. We wish you no harm.
If you wish, you could come with us. And if they do kill him, you could share in his heart.
Bacho.
I mean, that's an honor, right?
Not here. It is not here. You can tend the bar. You can come with. We have nothing to hide.
he looks so defeated right now, and he really wants to stand up to you, but again, he's just a scrawny little kid, basically, to the rest of you. And reluctantly, he does move to the side.
We could make use a hall.
No. She's drunk. Do not mind him. Gunk will be like, you made the right choice. Here's the bucket. Goodbye.
And he'll hand the bucket back to him.
Takes the bucket, like he doesn't actually want to, but it's just a habit to like serve people, and he just holds this bucket.
Mirren,
looks back at you as you begin walking out of the tavern.
It was very delicious trash.
From my bag, can you grab silver?
Oh yeah. How much you want me to pull out?
More than I should.
Did you not listen to anything I said on the inside? Money. You're purchasing his conscience with coin.
No, he will need
bags.
funds to make this place run in Huron's absence. I do not want him to fail.
You are kind, Zaldrin.
Equivocation to me.
Mirren, did you leave me with any silver left?
I took 2 of your bags. I think you have like 5 bags left. Yeah. So
Thank you. You for him. You can give that to him.
Here you go. What's your name?
Mazat.
Here you go.
This isn't right.
No, but what he did
What has
also
been done is
wasn't
not right either. Others will decide how this will be decided.
Again, he takes it and he's just looking at the silver, looking at the bucket, looking at this orc over Bacho's shoulder, is it? Just in bewilderment now at this point.
Yeah, and he's over my shoulder.
Yeah.
So
sorry.
I've got him.
Also, there's a wet coat in on the floor. You might want to clean that up.
Let it dry.
Just when you go in there and your nose will tell you what happened. We do apologize for that. Can we leave this place now? It's getting a bit heavy on my shoulder.
Oh yeah.
At this point, you've already been able to like circle around him, so he's not even between you and the door, and he just he just looks down as you all are able to leave.
Bye.
Heading straight to Chargas.
Yes.
Zaldrin, we'll say that you still remember most of the town. You wouldn't know exactly where Charga lives, but you would know that the Hall of Necron would likely house quite a bit of her warriors, and Charga, being one of their commanders, would likely be there. So you begin making your way back to the same place where the War Council was. In a town like Oracoa, it's actually not that strange to see a body over someone's shoulder, especially still alive. Like, he's obviously not dead. There's no blood or anything like that. So people just think that it's some sort of blood feud that's been settled, or he got too drunk at a bar and he's being carried home. There are multiple reasons that people invent in their own heads for this. And no one actually stops you until you get to the hall where Toklo, your guide from earlier, is standing guard.
We could make him Sahal. He's like not as much of a dick.
Wait. We seek an audience with Charga.
He is busy. Necron has died.
Yeah,
And-
Necron was poisoned though.
Okay. I think we all should just let Zaldrin do the talking.
Information.
Let's all just after you, Zaldrin.
We have information that Charga will want, and she will make sure that she shows the face of Huron, that is who is slung over her shoulder.
Necron was poisoned and you've brought her on?
He was involved in the poisoning.
And the elf and the humans?
Also involved in the poisoning.
Very well. And he opens the doors and begins to guide you back into the main hall, where again, it's separated by a chasm full of lava, much more empty this time around. There aren't masses of warriors on either side. You see at the far end that stone slab where Necron was sitting, where she was propped up. She is now lying. Her arms are crossed over. She's being prepared for funerary rites. And there are several people around, including Charga and what looks to be a priestess as well. Charga looks up angry that someone has even opened the door, but then kind of surprised to see the group that has entered in here. First of all, to see the pack again, but then to see an orc over Zaldrin's shoulder, Toklos, like with a look of, well, and then an elf and a couple of humans following behind. What is the meaning of this? The hall is closed.
You will want to hear us out.
Then begin.
And Zaldrin will kind of set Hran down. We, as you know, just arrived, but it has come to our attention that this one, and she's pointing to the elf, and Hran conspired to poison and kill her leader and take her place.
Hran admitted this to you?
They both did. And she'll point to the elf who is not knocked out and can actually speak.
Bryn Mawr's very nervous, but he does give a slight nod here. I always knew he was a traitor.
Yeah, but you're like not a good person either.
She has
Mirren,
had an excess of ale.
orcs only for the next
While
few
we
minutes.
While we were, in fact, this goes back quite a ways. I had an encounter with this one, and she just keeps referring to the orc as this one, the elf, quite a while ago, and did not realize exactly what was happening here.
As you're saying that, Charga is walking over to you at a very brisk pace, looking furious. And he grabs Hran, who you've set down, and just holds him up and tries to set him to his feet, but he's still unconscious. So with his massive strength, he continues holding Hran and just slaps him with one hand, waking him up, pulling the gag out of his mouth, releasing his bindings until Hran begins to slowly come to, still dazed, trying to get his surroundings. Is it true? You poisoned her? Oh, no, it's not true. Charga looks at the rest of you.
And Zaldrin will look back at the Bel Air.
I've been told that my safety will be guaranteed if I speak here. Will you share that guarantee? I guarantee nothing.
Yes, we will escort him out. And she's
Speak.
sort of looking at Charga, like, come on.
Bryn Mawr. I provided him the poison. He administered it to Necron. It is true. Hran looks much less sure of himself than he did before when he was handing you the knife, Zaldrin. Charga is still holding him up, and he still hasn't quite found his footing yet. Foot, not feet. He's got one good leg. Come on, it's a good pun. Come on, guys.
I was just trying to figure out like what footing, because it is footing. And I'm like, wait,
feeding. Holding him up, and looks back at Hran and just gives him a push and throws him into that lava chasm. He falls back, immediately catches fire. You hear a bit of a yell, but then it's immediately smothered as all of the air leaves his lungs. The charred smell, the burnt smell of flesh fills the room. Charga says,
Bacho starts to
Justice is
salivate a
given.
little. But you wasted a good heart.
Zaldrin, you've acted honorably. You've shown that you have the true spirit of Nork.
Yeah, she's the new Sahal.
I am the new Sahal.
Yeah, but you caused the start of the root problem and the issues all went down to you.
If you speak again, you will share the same fate as Ron.
No, she will not. She's drunk. Just ignore her. She travels with me. She has my protection.
Zaldrin, leave these foolish friends behind. Return to our army where you belong. We will need you in the coming fight.
Perhaps you have a short memory, but I do not. You have a hand in why I am out with them, and I will not abandon them. The politics here disgust me. I want no part of it.
You had so much potential. Wasted. But I do not have time for you. If you will not assist us in the fight, then you must leave.
Are you actually fighting, or are you just cowering behind your walls?
The Reavers will attack our walls. We will repel them.
So you're cowering behind your walls. All right, let's leave. The city stinks anyway.
We're gonna go the dungeon delving.
Yes, that's true. That's right, Zaldrin. I need the items.
And he's like kind of trying to be respectful.
I need the items below the deck. Can we negotiate that really quick? I thought you were actually going to take over as the Saw. I thought that was actually a really good idea by Mirren.
You should be your way.
Do you think
more
and
honorable.
she gestures over to the like granite thing over there. You think I want to sit on that?
That is the best sign of a leader, one who does not want power. This one wants power, not a good one.
Will you quit your squabbling? We are in mourning. We are at war. You have your lives. Leave.
Or do you?
Is there anyone else
a
here
question?
who
I think he thinks he could fight us.
We did just kill the Reavers out there. We could continue if we needed to. Anyone need some ships? Want to buy some ships? We were actually here for reasons. I told you that before. And then there was all of the murder drama because you apparently can't keep your leaders protected.
The powerful artifacts.
I thought we had that
for your ships.
Where did we?
Is it gold that will
underneath
get you to leave? You will have gold as a reward. Fair enough.
No. Under the city, there is like some sort of like a
temple.
Temple that.
Yes. That.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mine by birthright, that sort of thing.
I know not of a temple. If you stay in the city, you will help defend it. If you wish to leave, you must leave before the battle.
Do you have like a like elder, someone who's very like a lore master or something around here I could speak with?
This is not a negotiation.
I didn't say I wasn't negotiating anything. Like we literally freely gave you the assassin, but it's fine.
We did.
This is why you got to get your money up front before we give them stuff.
Don't talk to the priestess.
Priestess. Okay, yes. Name, does she have a name?
Yoltzi.
Okay, thank you, sir.
And this priestess is administering the last rites to Necron right now.
Excuse me, madam. I think that can wait. Mine is a bit more pressing. Oh, wait, no, they're not dead yet?
Wait, his last rites, they're still alive, right?
They're dead.
Funerary preparation.
Okay,
sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, she's
going to say, like, maybe the Gunk can give a hand. Right.
Although Zaldrin will look to Gunk just to see, like, because we know that you can talk, right?
Would you like to speak with the Necron once more? I can make this happen.
And Zaldrin thinks for a second as if, but she didn't really know this person, and it would be more just cool, but there's nothing to gain from that.
Wisdom on how to defend the city. secrets of the temple below, blessing
Her wishes
to
for the
rule
future.
the city. Yeah, that too. Blessings to rule the city, as the new leader. So that kind of thing.
This is up to you. I know that you are not one for just doing things on command as needed.
Zoltran,
I'm a little busy right now. Our Sahal just died. What do you need?
Do you know where the temple is beneath the city? The powerful artifacts, etc.,
Give me a manipulation.
Oh God. Man, I really should have put some into this.
We have audience stuff.
It's been a talk-heavy session.
No, I meant like over the campaign. I've never put anything in manipulation.
I think I've got the most.
All right,
at
would you like
3.
one?
I'm pushing.
Mirren's always drunk when you're talking, though.
I have one.
Yeah,
I know, right? I have
I've got the 4 empathy and the 3 manipulation.
one success.
Oh my gosh.
So when I'm intimidating people, I have the exact same to manipulate.
Nice.
I just go into their mind and melt it. That's what I do.
One success.
There is no temple under the city. The city is on a foundation of obsidian. Are you referring to what was found under the fire serpent? There was an earthquake recently. A crack revealed a strange door beneath the fire serpent.
That is it. Yes. Could you direct me there, please?
Yeah, and the fire serpent, especially to you, Zaldrin, you would immediately recognize that. It's this massive stone formation, just a couple hours walk outside of the city. And it's layered stone, but it kind of curls, it spirals. And at the very tip of it, there is a vent where these volcanic fumes come out of. And with that spiral and the curve and the fumes, legend has it that there is an actual living serpent under that rock that's been asleep. And as the ash has fallen, the heat of the serpent has baked that ash into a hard crust, and it continually gets bigger and bigger from baking. And there's a prophecy that one day it will awaken. It's basically a holy site for orcs nearby.
Right. Thank you very much for that. Okay. Did you want to say like goodbye to? I can make that happen. I have the power of life and death. I'm speaking to the priestess.
No, she is dead. I will not say goodbye to her.
Oh, okay. I was just offering. I'm sorry. I was just trying to be polite. Thank you.
He can actually do that if you wanted to talk to her one more time. He can actually do that for you.
I can, if you would like.
Her soul has crossed over. We should not disturb her.
Not quite yet, but
she is ascending to the other side.
It's not quite how it works, but yeah, I get you. There's like
you're arguing with very basic tenets of her fate.
I'm not saying that
busy
won't,
with something else.
I'm not saying that won't eventually happen. I'm saying there's like a buffer zone. There's like a grace period, I like to call it, between when and then I can get them and everything.
I guess she doesn't. She's not interested, Gunk. It's her choice.
Enough.
Her loss.
Toklo will have a bag of gold for you. Your fee.
Fee?
People just keep giving us money. I don't even need it. They just keep giving it to me. But okay.
For the ships. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
We don't need ships going down into the thing, but whatever. That's fine. Can we go into the fire serpent thing now? Can we do that?
Yeah.
It's a ways away. We leave the city. We go.
Oh, okay. Got you. Understand. Yes.
You guys leave the hall. Toklo has a bag of 200 gold for you all, 100 per ship. And this is actually a pretty good place to end the session. So we'll say that it's late now. You all can go to a different tavern to find lodging. Zaldrin, you know the city well enough, and it's not as if you're limited to certain sections. So you can all get a night's rest, and we will start off in the next morning. Don't hit the sleep button yet, just in case something comes up. You never know what kind of ghosts might haunt you in the middle of the night. And then next session will be the finale, most likely, unless it goes a little long, in which case we'll have 2 sessions left. But we are coming up on the conclusion of Forbidden Lands, guys. I had a
Gosh.
fun session.
So much
tonight.
fun.
I knew you had a
We-
couple options. I didn't know which option you would take.
We walked into
Uh,
politics and sort of winged it.
Listen, if you want to be the Sahal, Zaldrin,
I think we should make Zaldrin
I can
the
make that
Sahal.
happen for you. I
There's
have
not many
we
people that
should.
could stop you.
I have
Against
some
Zaldrin's
willpower
wishes,
right now
I
on
think
me.
we should.
Yeah.
Zaldrin is a way better Sahal than
Yeah.
either of the other two dudes.
And Griffin, I didn't even get to it. I named a clan after you. The Griffin clan is what Necron was in charge of. So there you go. Thank you for being a faithful viewer.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so let's do some shout outs. Aaron, what's going on with Garblag?
Let's see. Garblag on Thursday, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. They'll be back playing The One Ring, and the Ballads of the Barding will be continuing with Lewis as the game master for that. And then next Tuesday, barring any kind of transportation issues with the trains, Millie should be back running Coriolis at the same time.
Awesome. Melissa, what's going on with Lollygaggers?
So on Thursday, we will have our next episode of Die. And then on Friday, Aaron is going to be back with more Conan for us. On Saturday, we're back to One Ring. And we shall see what next Monday brings us. And then Tuesday, we'll be right back here again.
I'm sorry. I love putting you on the spot for it, but you were actually ready for it this time.
Because I'm like
You came
looking through
prepared.
gifts for Discord. I'm like, oh wait, that's my name.
Jeff, are we raiding anyone tonight?
Yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and raid Lost Caravan RPG. Good friends over there. So that's it. I'm going to go ahead and click that button. Hopefully everyone else will follow us. And if you haven't already started following the channel, both on Twitch here and over on YouTube, Adventures in Lollygagging, we'd really do appreciate that as well. Otherwise, have a great night, everybody. Bye-bye.